Hello, friends, and welcome to Narrative Notions, where we unleash our unbridled, maybe unpopular, usually unpopular, opinions on books, TV shows, movies, and all things media. All opinions are our own, and we apologize for absolutely nothing. Hashtag dead dove do not eat. And we are your hosts, Bianca and Bethany. And today we are going to be doing something fun where we're going to get some randomly generated or random writing prompts, plots, and we are going to say whether or not we would read the book based on that prompt or plot. And then also, I wanted to throw a random spin on it and see if we could come up with like a basic story, like amongst ourselves, and then see how we think differently. Because she is a writer, she is an author working to get a book published. I like to
I went to
write, but
school for it for
I
6 years.
but I typically I do the editing and I do a lot more of the reading, so our brains they work differently. So hopefully it's a lot of fun. Um, Before we get into that, as always, we give our currently reading and watching lists. And I have little life updates. I'm gonna put a picture here for my friends on Spotify. You won't be able to see it, but I bought a new car. So my old car is no longer breaking down on the side of the road, and I'm not gonna die in the middle of the highway. But I bought a new car. She's very pretty. She's very nice. I've never had a new car before, and I did cry giving my old car back to my mom because she wants to see if she can figure out what's wrong with it. Um, and then I wanted to show because I was talking about how I was blocking some granny squares last time, and these are what they look like. So these are going to go together, and it's going to be the front of a bag for she knows who she is. Diana. This is going to be Diana's bag. And I'm working on Bethany's bag that I talked about forever ago. I just haven't blocked any of the squares yet because I'm still learning how to use these. Uh, Currently reading list. I've mentioned a couple books by her. I'm reading a book called Mouse Bones, which is the first book in the Revenant Academy series, and it's by Kinsey Presley Hornung, who also wrote Gnawbone Heartstrings and The Fear of Hurting. The Fear of Hurting. I think that this one so far it's seeming like it's going to be my favorite. It's dead people, adult dead people anyway. They go into the afterlife and then they go to this academy to learn how to be uh like grim reapers, guardian angels, demons, or like spirits that bring about justice. And it's very, very interesting. That's all I'm focusing on. What am I watching? I'm still watching Heartland. I think I'm almost on season 3 already. I love it very much. I had a mental breakdown over one of the episodes where a prize winning show jumping horse got sold to a a meat trading slaughterhouse, and I told Bethany that I was literally bawling my eyes out. I had a mental breakdown. I was like, I had to stop the episode. I was like, nope, nope, I gotta leave. That's all I got. Bethany, what you got?
I have finished Duet with the Siren Duke. I will update Goodreads as soon as we're done with this, because I told Bianca that I would write a review for the next book that I read, so I got to do that. Because I don't do reviews on Goodreads. I just put the star and then I go on my merry way. Anyway, um, I haven't rewatched it, but I'm going back and watching my favorite episodes of Heartland because I left off on season, what did I say? 11, 12,
11.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I was waiting for the next season to be put on Netflix. And now they're up to season 16, currently filming 17, I think. So I'm going to do my very best to catch up because I do love the show a lot and I miss it. I do, however, know a spoiler in one of the upcoming seasons, and I'm not looking forward to actually getting to it. But it's okay. I'll deal with it. It's fine.
No bueno. Um, Also, I've got some Libby holds right now. Some people are gonna judge me for this one book that I put on hold. Allie Hazelwood, she writes like contemporary romances. Like,
Is it the golfer book?
no, it's
Is it
not.
Bride?
Yeah, like vampire and werewolf books, but I was like, a lot of people are talking about this. So like, maybe I should read it. So I I put it on hold on like a week and a half ago. I started at 126th in line and now I'm 91st. I also have one other book on hold that I am not going to tell you until I get it. But it says it's about a 2-week wait. About 2 weeks. I put it on hold like 4 days ago. Okay, to the randomly generated prompts. Do
All
you
right.
want to go first?
Um, yes, although I have a writing pro or like a dialogue prompt instead of just like a regular like plot of like, oh, this little storyline happens. So you got to come up with a story for yourself for this dialogue. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm going to write it down.
All right. Character A, was it really necessary to kill them all? Character B, yes. Why? They took what was mine once. I didn't want them to try it for a second time.
Repeat it?
All right, character A, yes. Or no, character A, was it really necessary to kill them all? Character B, yes. Character A, why? B, they took what was mine once. I didn't want them to try it for a second time.
Okay. Do you want to say yours first?
I can say mine first if you want me to.
Go for it.
Okay, so yes, I would read it based off like the dialogue alone. I love dialogue. Dialogue like on TikTok is usually the reason why I consider books in the first place anyway, at least TikTok books, but like Cruel Prince, there was a line, I don't remember what it was, but it made me read it because of that piece of dialogue. Anyway, moving on. For me, speaking of Cruel Prince, to me, this is giving kind of like revenge plot. So like vigilante, princessy type thing. But like I to me, it kind of is like Anastasia if Anastasia was like really pissed off about it, you know? So instead of, so like she runs away, but like she doesn't like, doesn't forget anything. She still has her memories and whatnot. And then from the time that she is a child to her parents dying and like her castle going up in flames or whatever, she is just like stuck on like this revenge path. And then she finds them at the end and she kills them all. And then maybe the love interest or some random person that she picked up along the way is like, did you have to kill them? And she's like, yeah, I did. So I would read that. I like revenge plots.
I think it depends on the story going along with the dialogue, whether or not I would read it. Because the original dialogue is very much giving like mafia revenge, which I don't read a lot of. I really don't like mafia books. Um, but
Mafia books, no, but Mafia TV shows, love them.
true.
Love them.
So if the story going along with it were good, then yes. Um, so my plot.
Oh my God.
They stole all of his ice cream sandwiches on a hot summer day, and he wouldn't let that happen again. whole long thought out fucking plot. And I'm like, man, he's gonna kill them all for stealing his ice cream sandwiches.
Oh my god.
Do I normally have better ideas than that? Yes. But did I think it was funny? Yeah. Don't even worry about it.
Oh my god.
You're welcome. This is a thing that I told Bethany that I found. It's a random plot generator and it's a random story idea. So this is just like randomly from the internet and Becky 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 is a killer fueled by the death of her grandmother who taunts ants and keeps their eyebrows in a freezer. Mrs. Sumner's, a farmer from Mexico City, knows she has to stop her. In a dramatic conclusion, Sumner saves the villain from drowning so that she can face the justice of the law.
What?
She keeps ants' eyebrows in the freezer. Yeah.
That sounds like one of your TikTok books that I would live vicariously through you.
Yeah. Oh. Oh my fucking god, Bethany. Another one. Lily is a killer fueled by homophobia who squishes children and laughs about it. Lady Addie, a professor from New Orleans, knows she has to stop her. In a brutal conclusion, the villain murders Addie's baby.
Okay, not gonna lie, that sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds.
So this is from an Instagram called Writing Prompts. And it says, you're a mind reader, but your whole life, everything has sounded like gibberish because of how random people's misconstrued thoughts are. Until one day, all the voices shut off and you hear one very clearly say, run. I'd read it.
Yeah, I'd read it. Yeah. I'd at least give it a chance.
My brain went to immediately, it's because someone is projectile vomiting or an active shooter.
My brain went to Edward Cullen. If like,
on Spider Monkey.
yeah, like my brain just immediately went to Edward Cullen. I couldn't even tell you what the rest of that plot would be. But Edward Cullen's involved somewhere, somehow, some way. I would read it though.
I also found another thing that's opening line ideas.
Mm.
And just like the list of these, Dublin had been without darkness for many weeks. Last night, I dreamt I was in hospital again. Do you find me naughty yet?
Oh my god.
Of all the things, I would have defeated the zombies if it weren't for Rob.
What did Rob do?
Rob Zombie. I won't lie, Patrick had grown accustomed to dating werewolves.
Sounds like an episode of Teen Wolf.
If I could change one thing, it would be meeting Stav. First of all, what kind of a name is Stav? And second of all, what did Stav do to you? God.
First off, I found a story prompt on Pinterest. All right. A detective has been okay, this grammar is not right. Anyway, I'm going to change it so it is right. A detective has been chasing a serial killer since the beginning of their career but has never caught them. Several years later, a bad relationship of theirs has come to an end, and not even a few days later, they find themselves being stalked. The patterns feel familiar. Is she or are they imagining things, or is their stalker the serial killer and their ex partner the same person.
In the books that I read, yes,
Yeah,
I like stalker books.
we know you do.
I don't like serial killer books as much, but I like stalker books. But none of them have hit like Haunting Adeline did. Like, Pretty Monster was too obvious. There was another one that I read. It's just like it doesn't do it for me like Haunting Adeline did. Like Haunting Adeline made me it made me anxious. And that's how you're supposed to feel when you get a stalker. But then like you find out they're hot. And then you're like, "Ooh, Mr. Stalker Man." You know, come in my house. And he did, and some other places. Yes.
It's not up my alley, so I wouldn't read it, but I would enjoy your commentary of it. So, yeah.
Yes. I'm not reading anything super duper off the wall weird at the moment to give her commentary on, but whenever I read like really bad books, I send her screenshots of how bad they are. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Can you believe this shit?" And then we
It makes me
discuss
feel better about my writing,
positions.
to be honest.
She thinks that her writing's bad, and it's like not, because like I've read bad writing, and hers is not by a
It's the
long
imposter
shot.
syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
I found an interesting story prompt.
Okay.
All right. Twin brother and sister have been at war with one another since they could walk. Over the years, there were rules set in place in order for them to live in harmony with each other. But one day, the brother breaks the sister's rules, and instead of crying about it, she begins planning her revenge. How far will they take it? What will both lose in the end?
She gonna kill him. I would read it.
I would
Um,
too. That
it
sounds like a
reminds
good
me,
YA story. Like that sounds like a
yeah,
pretty good YA story.
it reminds me of I've told you about this book before, Three Dark Crowns
Mhm.
by Kendare Blake. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And they're triplets. They're three sisters that are born, and they're each in the running to be the queen. They each have a different type of like magical power. One is like poisons, one is animals, and the other is I can't remember right now. Um and like they come together and then they have to like fight to the death for whoever will become the queen of the island. So they're
Mm.
separated at a young age. Now there's no like rules about like how they live in harmony. They're just like completely separated and they're taught how to be like assassins to kill their sisters to become queens. It's very good. I need to reread it. I got the first book at a library sale recently. I want to reread it. I read the second book and possibly started the third. I think there's either 4 or 5 books in the series. Um, but yeah, very, very good. But like twins that are like fighting to the death, what are they gonna lose in the end? Probably a limb.
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
know if I am creative enough to come up with my own stories for all of these. Like I'm thinking about it and then I'm like, man,
Mm.
they're all just gonna sound stupid or just like not serious at all. They stole his ice cream sandwiches. Don't even worry about it. It's fine.
Maybe that's
But
what they're fighting about. Maybe that was their one issue when they started walking. Maybe one of them tripped the other and she's been plotting revenge ever since.
said, oh yeah, you want to trip me? Well, I'll rip your kneecaps off.
You just get to like the climax of the book and the brother's on the floor bleeding. Why did you do this? Remember when we were when do babies start walking?
Like 8 months to a year, I think.
Remember when we were a year old and you tripped me?
Okay, I found another one on Instagram. You arrived late. Your town is burning, and the invaders have captured you. You, a priest, start the summoning prayer. No point in summoning pacifist angels now, they laughed. There's nothing left to defend. However, they forgot to consider that Lucifer is also an angel.
You know what I immediately thought of? Blue Exorcist.
Yeah. Uh, everyone's like, yeah, it's gonna take over. Is it Rin?
Yeah.
And then bam, he took the other one. It's like, what? Yeah, wild.
Rin
I don't think
deserved better, by the way.
Rin
Just
did
a
deserve
mini
better.
rant. Rin deserved better. Yu-Gi-Oh was such a shit brother, and they put all of this like pressure and like horrible behavior towards Rin. Rin didn't deserve any of that. He was bullied for his entire life because of
He
the whole
didn't
Satan
ask to
thing.
have a tail.
No. And you're gonna bully him because of it? Did you forget that his twin brother was also a son of Satan? Hello?
No, because he doesn't have weird ears and a tail. Hang on, let me make sure. Rin, Blue Exorcist. I think he has a tail. I want to
He
make sure.
does.
Does he have a tail? He does have a tail. All right, fucking Cardin Greenbrier. It looks like how it's described too. It's like skinny with like a little tuft of hair at the end. It should be like
Yeah.
rubbing up and down Jude's leg, wrapping around her. Him in his like
Oh,
demon form with his big ass ears, of fucking wah. Okay, Dumbo.
poor
Yeah.
Rin.
Um. Yeah. If you have anything
Anyway,
to add to the plot, be my guest. I'm gonna look for some more while we're hanging out.
uh, you know, what if, and maybe this is just me being hung up on the current book that I'm working on, but what if the priest and Lucifer have a thing? What if it's like a good omens type of situation?
Like a thing like being friends or like a thing like being a thing.
We could leave it kind of like ambiguous. Let the audience decide.
Okay, okay, I see. I can tell you right now that there's a book out there that I will find.
Oh, there absolutely is.
Where it's a priest and fucking Lucifer damn Morningstar. Um, add that to my book bingo. A romance novel about a priest fucking the death.
Yeah,
I bet you it'd be good too.
there's definitely a book out there somewhere with that.
It's somewhere. It's somewhere
It's
off in the
somewhere.
abyss. Ow. Uh, oh my fucking god. I guess this is a D&D prompt. Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm.
Due to your limited skills as an evil wizard, instead of cursing your enemy's home to be overrun by a swarm of frogs, the whole town is tormented by one single frog. Is it like one tiny little frog that's constantly going around fucking with people, like breaking open their doors and just like screaming at them? Or is
Or
it like a
is it just
big
like a
ass
like a
giant frog
just a
that's
giant
like,
frog just sitting in like
"Orba,
a field
orba."
behind the village and it's just sitting there
And it's
with
like,
its
what the
little
fuck you
slow
doing
blink.
over there? It's then get on my fucking field. This is my town. I just imagine a little tiny frog just like constantly tormenting people, and it can like fucking it can
Like the
transport
snail
itself
that
into
if it
people's
touches
houses.
you, you
Oh my
die.
god, not the snail. Warren's
Instead of a snail, it's a frog.
over. Or yeah. No, 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 no. That's not the song. That's not the song. Not the war is over song. It's a so now that wait, yes it is.
Yeah, it
Now
is.
this is Christmas. War is and da 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 da, wah! And the fucking snail is just, and then you die. But instead, it's a
It's a little
frog
frog just hopping.
hopping, and you gotta get away from it, and you can't kill it.
I would 100% watch or read, and I'd watch it too. The little frog terrorizing the town. Just a one singular little frog.
The little
A giant
frog that
frog would be
could.
interesting too, but it would be funnier. Just one tiny little frog. Gotta get my narrator voice on. In the far north lies a kingdom that was once ruled by giants, feared and respected, until something else came along, something more powerful, something that should be feared more. The scattered bones of giants against the snowy mountains are proof of this brutal and long battle. Your character is an archaeologist trying to find out what really happened during the dark time no sources talk about.
Dragons.
Yeah, that's what my brain went to.
Dragons. Because what
Giants,
else could defeat giants? One
right?
singular tiny frog
What's a yellow tiny frog?
tormenting them all. But no, dragons. Dragons would have taken them out.
Dragons.
And then the dragons went into hiding, or like they went into hibernation. And then it could be like, um,
Oh, the
with
archaeologist is
Avatar
trying to find the dragons.
trying to find the dragons. The dragons are the hillsides. They're so
Yeah.
big that they fell asleep, and they are the hills and the mountains and forests just grew on them.
Like Moana, kind
Like
of.
Moana. Or, they're hidden like deep inside the center of the earth, like Journey to the Center of the Earth. And
Yeah.
you have to like journey through to the middle to
I
find the
did
dragons.
actually have a kind of like a very vague dragon book plotted out like that. Like the dragons are like the ruler of this island, and then they were locked away when this one tyrannical king came along, and now the dragons are trying to wake up again because their island is being threatened or something like that. I'll have to go back and look at the actual plot that I came up with. But yeah, that was one that I did have in mind.
A slight look into the writer brain. I've never heard of this plot,
I know I
so
didn't flesh it
maybe
out enough for
it'll
me to actually want to tell you, but I can
maybe
flesh
it'll
it out
make
more.
an appearance in the future. I know that
It
she
probably
has
will.
an elf book
Hmm.
in the works. There's a lesbian superhero book that I beta read and edited, which is in the vault currently. Um, a magical clock, young adult, time, dimensional travel book. That I also beta read and edited for, and then she put the first book on Amazon and sold a couple copies, and is
It is now
rewriting
in
it.
need of a facelift, so that's
A
a
very
slow process that's
expensive
happening, but it's
facelift. It's
there.
fine. Um, and what else do you have in the works? Something about
Did you
fairies.
about to say
The
we were talking about did you mention because I'm trying to think because I know you mentioned this lesbian superheroes, but
Yeah,
okay, so that but the
lesbian elf fairy something, and a waitress.
yeah, that's one that I'm currently working on.
Yeah, is she an elf or a fairy?
She is a fae. I
She's a
haven't
something.
just
She's a
she's a something.
something.
She's
She's
a
a something,
magical
and she's
something.
beautiful, and she wants to date a waitress.
I love it. I love them. They're doing great, and I am excited for the story. So I think you'll like it once I get all the kinks worked out. So
Yeah, she's currently working on writing that, and I'm just impatiently waiting. It's fine. And she's currently querying
the
publishers.
lesbian superhero book.
She's a pretty cool lesbian superhero. Yeah. Um, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'd say
This
it's
just
like
made me realize we don't talk about my writing a whole lot on
because you're
podcasts.
very secretive.
I know, but like, I don't know. It's just the first time that we've really brought it up.
Yeah, because this is the first episode where we've like had something based around writing.
That is very true.
Well,
I
I hope
found
that you
another
bring
one.
back the dragon idea. Yes.
I would absolutely love to, and I just might. It'll have to have another facelift, but um, because we all know I love dragons, we need more dragon books. Okay, so this next one. In this world, you can bring someone back to life if someone else takes their place in the underworld. Your character just agreed to do it. Why and what happens next?
Now, my question is, does the person have to agree to take the person's place in the underworld? Because if I could just trade someone, I'd be like, all right, JoJo Siwa, let's go, stick her ass in there. We were just talking
I just
today about
just
how
like
she stole
look on
someone
your
else's
Facebook, just see who
song.
you like the least.
The least. Who
The
you like
least.
least? Stick me
I
in
was going to
that
say
spot.
lest, but then I realized that I had said the in front of it. So I was like, I can't say the less. That makes no sense. So I
The
tried to change it
least.
to least.
The least.
The
Um,
least.
your character is taking their spot. Why and what happens next? Why in real life? Because I'm very tired. And maybe I could just take a permanent dirt nap. What happens next?
Take a
They
permanent
get
nap in the river Styx.
the river Styx. You know, it's fine. Just be floating along. Do 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 do
And
do.
become the ferryman.
Yeah, I'll take some funky coins. Um, yeah, I'd just be like floating along. I'd be taking a permanent nap, and they can come back to life and take over everything that I gotta deal with, and it would be fine. That was my immediate thought. Not very creative, but it's fine.
Well, because the way this is worded, it sounds like it's saying that like it at first it does say think it does make me think of like, oh, your character is agreeing to take someone else's place in the underworld. But what if it's like you said in the beginning with JoJo Siwa and you're like trying to bring someone back to life, so you're just throwing some random person into the underworld.
Yep.
Who would you bring back and why? Like, why are you bringing back this one person?
If we want to give like a serious answer, bring back my grandparents. Um,
Yeah.
and throw JoJo Siwa in there. Throw on Logan the Pauls, Tana Mojo. Um,
Dang, how many people are you bringing back to life?
hey man, if they're like, yeah, like your grandparents were like really good people, you gotta give us some extra bad people to make it worth it to take up their spot. Now granted, JoJo Siwa would probably take up enough space for like 4 people by herself. Because she is one of the most lively people I've ever known of in my life. Um, as a less serious answer, David Bowie
You're
or
right.
Prince or
Yes.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Yep.
Robin Williams, I would throw many, many people into the river Styx.
Oh, yeah, there's so many people we don't need instead of Robin Williams.
Who would I throw in the River Styx for Robin Williams? Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, Dan Schneider, Donald Trump. Um,
Did you
yes,
see the thing that he got
convicted
confirmed as guilty? Yeah.
for all
He was found
34 counts
he was found guilty for everything.
for everything. There was like a news reporter who was like, count one, guilty. Count two,
Two,
guilty.
guilty,
Count three, guilty.
guilty. I
All the way
saw
up to
that too.
34, guilty. Like, dang. Is that gonna keep him from running for president? Please say yes. And if the answer is no, what the fuck do you mean? Because, like, if being a felon doesn't stop you from being the president, then we're really lost as a society, man. Come on. I'm tired. I just want my taxes to be okay and for people to stop trying to force me to be pregnant.
Dude. Oh, I found another prompt. This one's for like a horror-ish kind of story.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of reminds me of something that like I read that I think happened in real life. Anyway, your child's imaginary friend has the same name as the person who killed everyone close to you 10 years ago.
Well, shit. I'd be like, no, like, sorry, I'm a little bit lightheaded because I laughed. That would make me so, oh my God. Now my lips are a
And
little bit tingly. Sorry.
I mean, like the thing that it reminded me of, and I'll have to look this up to see if it's actually true and if it actually happened, but there was a story, I think it was like a news article or something, but there's a story about a babysitter who was babysitting this girl, and this girl had a like giant clown doll sitting in a
Uh-huh.
chair in her room.
Uh-huh.
And and one night the girl didn't want to go to bed and she was like, "Hey, I don't like the clown doll in my room." Or she said like, "I'm scared of the clown" or something. And the babysitter called the mom, called the parents and was like, "Hey, can I move this clown thing?" And turns out the clown was actually a person. And the clown was, yeah. And the child was like, "Hey, yeah."
I'm deeply afraid of clowns.
Same. Same.
No, not as much as I'm afraid of space and also the ocean, but deeply afraid of clowns. I don't fuck with clowns. They make me uncomfortable. Um, but dude, if my kid were at home and we're just fucking around shooting the shit and they're like, "Yeah, mommy, my imaginary friend that's sitting next to you." And I'd be like, "Oh, who's your imaginary friend, honey?" And they'd be like, "Oh, his name is Richard." I'd be like, "You need to get out of my house." I would be so scared. I'd be like, "Oh, exorcist. Get the exorcist. Get the fucking Catholic priest. Get out of my house."
Get out of my house.
Um,
Uh,
I have one from Instagram.
I tried looking it up to see if this is real, but it didn't come up with anything. But
I think it's a
something else
creepy
came up.
pasta.
It might be, yeah. Um, but there's this kind
Add
of
it
like
to the list.
this like
Creepy
short story,
pastas.
and this is sticking out to me. In quotation marks, "Get them out of here and run for your life, Emily." His voice cracked. It's clownathy.
Clown. So I found another one on Instagram.
Okay.
And it says, bringing it back to dragons. An ancient dragon sleeps in its cave, expecting to only be woken by thieves or would-be heroes. What it doesn't expect is a child pleading for help.
Oh.
Now, what I immediately go to is their mom like is still asleep or something. So they wander out of the house and they somehow end up accidentally stepping through a magical portal into this dragon's cave and they're like, I froed up.
I mean, yeah, that's that could very possibly. Yeah. Rhoda.
Dragon's just looking at it and is like, what's a froed up? What's I froed up? And they're like, what are you? What is this thing? I will suck the marrow from your bones. It might have some throw up on it.
Oh my God.
Oh god. Yeah, that's all I got. I froed up. Why do half of our episodes? I froed up. I pooped my pants. Oh.
I found one that says a wizard was expelled from the wizardry community and is forced to live in the human world as punishment. What do we think the wizard did? Probably one of the forbidden spells.
The dark arts.
The dark arts.
Defense against the dark arts. Uh, yeah, probably was like necromancing and shit. And was
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me reanimate these corpses and
Yeah.
use them for capital gain and
Mm,
make them do an Irish jig in the middle of the town square for pocket change.
yeah.
And then someone was
I
like, hey dude, that's kind of like really unethical. Because they're corpses and they're dead and they can't consent to being reanimated and dancing for money. That's exploitation.
I mean I would read it. That I would love to see a story of just like a wizard trying to figure out the human world and like getting a human job, kind of like Devil's a part-timer, where he
Mhm.
works at McDonald's. But like a wizard working at Wendy's or Burger King or something like that.
And he's just like so
Yeah.
frustrated and it's like, God, can't you people make this taste any better? Look, it's this
And he,
easy. Ding, bing.
he's just trying to get back into the wizarding community, but he just keeps getting mad at human stuff, so they don't let him back because he has a temper.
And maybe he's trying to like streamline the food industry, the fast food industry. So he keeps like fixing things and coming up
Yeah.
with like more efficient ways. And then he's like, you know what? He just keeps doing it and then forgetting about the fact that he needs to make it back to the wizard world. Or maybe he has like a certain amount of magic he needs to like reservoir or like a certain amount of money he needs to make to like buy his way back or something. So
Mm.
he's like he'll be there late and he's just like scrubbing dishes for like overtime.
That would be like
Uh,
Voldemort if he wasn't awful.
Voldemort scrubbing dishes for overtime to make it back so that he can kill Harry Potter.
I need to rejuvenate my soul. I gotta wash these dishes.
Gotta wash these dishes. Okay. I found more of the D&D prompts, but
Mhm.
like the D&D prompts Instagram is no longer RIP. Just like,
R.I.P. Dude.
well, I was gonna say just like Voldemort, but like, no.
No. Well, I mean, he is resting in pieces.
Rest in pieces. I was gonna come up with a funnier joke, but I can't currently think of a word for pee. My brain immediately went to rest in female anatomy, but no, he doesn't deserve that unless he's allergic to cats.
What's wrong with you?
Um, anyway, so I found another account. It says free D&D adventure ideas, and we're just using these for fucking stories. It's fine.
I found one that's kind of vague.
Hmm.
Kind of vague. It's really vague, but it gives us more room to work with. All right. So, in a kingdom, there is a queen who is being referred to as the Phantom Queen. That's the prompt. What you got?
The queen is being referred to as the Phantom Queen.
Yes.
My brain immediately goes to someone with like probably someone that's like albino, like really pale skin, really pale eyes, white hair that's like down to her like fucking ankles or some shit. And she just wears like funky, lacy, gauzy shit and just looks like a fucking specter. And then she also gets a kick out of it because she's only seen at night. She's only seen at night around corners, and she gets a kick out of tormenting people and making people think that she is a ghost. So like they don't actually know if she exists or not. They think that she's dead and that she's a ghost, and she'll just like slink around corners and shit, and people will see her, and she'll just like stand and like stare, and she'll like knock shit over, and then she'll like disappear. And she
My,
finds joy in it.
yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? That seems like fun. Um, my kind of immediate thought would be like kind of like a ghost kingdom where the royal family has like completely died out. The village is like on its last kind of legs or whatever. And then there's like rumors of like the Phantom Queen who's just like lurking about the ruins of the castle.
Yeah,
And
it's
someone goes in to find the mystery of the Phantom Queen. Although what you were saying kind of reminded me of I don't remember what the lady's name was from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The lady that was locked in the basement because she
oh
was albino.
oh yes.
That's what that
Um,
reminded me of.
yours makes me think of damn, women just can never take a fucking break, even in death.
Yeah.
Weaponized incompetence. Ghost edition. She's like, God damn it.
Postage.
Nobody can take care of this kingdom. I guess I'm just gonna have to do it myself. Come back
Instead of
from the
Taylor's
dead.
version, it's Phantom's version.
Phantom's version. Um, I don't think we need, well, maybe. I like this prompt. I just think this prompt is cute.
Yeah.
Dragons respect the strong, the dragon said. Okay. So if that's true, why do you never attack that one old farmer outside the city? Asked the adventurer. I'll repeat. Dragons respect the strong.
You gotta respect the farmer, homie. That farmer's
I
probably
wonder
Uncle
what the
Iroh.
farmer did. It's fucking Uncle Iroh! Lit from the vine,
Oh my god.
falling so slow, like
Say
little
maybe Uncle Iroh,
tiny
maybe the little
shells.
old farmer protected the last of the dragons or something. And was like, hey, be free.
Hey, be free. And like
I'll
he
save you from
fought
the
the
evil
war.
people.
He fought the war and he saved the dragons and then he was like, "You know what? They keep him safe. They leave him alone. In his old age, he just wants to be a farmer. He just wants to be a farmer and he wants to grow corn and he wants to be left the fuck alone." But then
Sounds like a good life.
Fire Nation attacked. And then he
He's so
comes
dead.
back as Uncle Iroh, and he's just fucking whooping ass. And he's like, "Yeah, I may be 104, but these knees are still 75. I'll take them. Let me at him. Let me at him. Let's go."
Oh
Uh,
my god.
he just breaks his fucking ankles or something. Or he's just like extremely badass and just like rips his shirt off. And it's like in SpongeBob when Patrick like Patrick was on the back of like that giant fish in the fry cook games. Uh
Hmm.
and he's just,
Oh.
or when they were really buff and they were fighting each other in the ring.
Yeah.
I just really like these D&D ones.
Yeah, they're very creative and they're a lot
Yes.
easier to kind of work with, especially when it comes to like the way we think and
Mm-hmm.
our interest in
Like the
stories
regular
because
writing prompts, I'm like,
yeah, they're all
they're
very
kind of
contemporary.
generic. I
Yeah,
don't
and
like
they're
contemporary.
I know there are plots that have been done and seen before like a bajillion times already. So trying to come up with something different is difficult. So here's a creepy one. All right. Your protagonist is on a hike on their favorite trails, one of their favorite trails. They've made this trek 100 times before. However, this time is different. This time they pass the abandoned well. When they when they pass the abandoned well, they hear the lullaby their mother used to sing to them.
That's a skinwalker. That's a skinwalker right
That's a
there.
skinwalker.
I'm not, absolutely not. Yeah, no, but like on a very serious note, friends, okay? I am deeply afraid of skinwalkers. Okay, skinwalkers are like one of my worst nightmares. I think about them on a very regular basis. Uh, and yeah, I believe they're real. Okay,
Oh yeah.
skinwalkers are real. I just finished a couple weeks at this point a couple weeks ago, Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. Man, it's about
Mhm.
skinwalkers, okay? No. If ever you are anywhere and you hear something with someone's voice that you think you know that's singing you shit and talking to you and saying, please help me, and they're trying to come inside, or they sound like they're not fully human and they're imitating a human's voice, don't fucking go outside.
Yeah.
Don't
Dude,
follow
I
it. It's gonna eat you and wear your skin as a
yeah.
cloak.
I mean, since moving to Tennessee, I'm not on the right side of the mountains to actually like be within like Skinwalker or like Wendigo territory, but it is still like the woods behind the rental house that we're in right now. They kind of freak me out, not gonna lie. But like Skinwalkers and Wendigos. Ever since Until Dawn, I watched that playthrough. Nope. No. Some
Uh,
urban legends are more believable than others, but Wendigos and Skinwalkers are the most believable to me.
they creep me out.
Oh, excuse me.
Don't follow the disembodied voice. Don't do it. You hear scratching on the outside of your house? Don't fucking go and look at it. Lock yourself in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't talk to it. Don't talk to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, here's another one. It's not creepy or anything, but write a story of a magical creature missing their species' key feature. So a siren without a voice, unicorn without a horn, fire, dragon without a fire. A unicorn without a horn is just the last unicorn.
I
That's what that movie is.
I've never seen The Last Unicorn myself.
It was my favorite movie as a kid. Basically, they're all the unicorns have gone missing, and there's one unicorn left. And um, she comes across this magician and someone else who are on a mission to help her find the rest of the unicorns. But in this world, the unicorns can only be seen by women. So when men look at a unicorn, they just see a regular horse. They don't see the horn, they don't see like the magical stuff or anything. And then there is
Because men
a
don't deserve to look at unicorns.
right, there is a evil creature called the Red Bull that is chasing the unicorns and that has run the unicorns into the ocean. And so they're trying to get the unicorns out while trying to fight the Red Bull as well, because the Red Bull is coming after the last unicorn.
Red Bull. I
Yeah,
wonder if that's where they took inspiration.
shoot, maybe. But it's one of my favorite movies. It's kind of old though. I wonder how old it is. Last Unicorn. It's an 1982 film.
I like it. I like it.
It's from 1982. It's really good. It's a cartoon movie. It's amazing. I love it.
I sent you some screenshots of
Hmm.
like a story generator thing
Mm.
um for like letters and birth months and stuff. So because we have the same first letter of our first name, I'm gonna do the first
And the
letter of my
same
middle name
birth month.
and the same birth month. It's fine. We'll figure it out. God. Um, so, and I'll stick the screenshot somewhere. So mine, for my main character, the first letter of my first name determines the main character of my story. For my middle name is Kelsey, and starts with a K. So I would be a murderous alchemist. Antagonist, your birth month determines which antagonist opposes your main character. My birth month is September. So a murderous alchemist opposes a shape-shifting trickster. Setting, the first letter of your surname determines the primary setting of your story. The first letter of my last name is B. So, a murderous alchemist is opposing a shape-shifting trickster in a magical circus. And the goal is my favorite color. And it determines the main character's ultimate goal. My favorite color is pink. So a murderous alchemist is opposing a shape-shifting trickster in a magical circus because it he's trying to win unimaginable power. That's
Okay.
well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point of alchemy anyway.
Yeah,
It's like
especially if like you're a
unimaginable
murderous
power and
alchemy. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, fucking Full Metal Alchemist, like greed.
Oh my God. Okay.
God.
All right. So mine is King of Beggars. All right. King of Beggars opposes a shape-shifting trickster because we have the same month. Uh, in a uh, galactic carnival. Okay. Nice. Um, and their goal is to unravel a dark conspiracy because my favorite color is purple. Interesting.
I wonder what the
Okay.
dark conspiracy is in a galactic carnival. Now, like,
That
God.
a shape-shifting trickster is trying to hide. That just sounds like an
Now,
episode of Doctor Who.
mix all of this together, and it reminds me of a book uh by Catherine Ann Kingsley, who's one of my favorite authors.
Mm.
She wrote this book called The Contortionist, and it's about someone who is tricked into joining this magical circus that is actually an ancient demon that eats
Oh,
people's souls,
nice.
and just is in the form of a circus, uh, and brings people on and forms their spirits into different roles of the circus. Some of them not so great. And it's basically going to like eat the world. So that's the dark
Oh,
conspiracy. And the shape-shifting
nice.
trickster is one of the characters who is actually the circus that's gonna eat everybody's souls.
Nice.
It was actually really good, and it was a dark romance.
Hmm.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
King of Beggars, Shape Shifting Trickster, Galactic Carnival, Dark
That
Conspiracy.
sounds
Then I,
like fun, even though I hate
yeah. I mean, that really
space.
does sound like fun.
Galactic Carnival, like we're going to space on like a
We're going to
fucking
Beef.
on like a fucking Ferris wheel or some shit, or like a roller coaster through space, and it's just like I would get probably motion sick.
You would die.
I would die. We went off on a major tangent, kind of because that's just what we do. What happened to the original plot of the movie? I feel like I say that during almost every episode that we do, but sincerely, what
At
happened
this
to the
point,
original plot of the movie?
I mean, at this point, I don't think we have a plot. I
No.
think
What happened to the original plot of the writing prompt that we were using to come up with for a book? Um, so yeah, we kind of went all over the place. It's fine. We had a great time. You guys got to see a little bit more into the depths of Bethany's writing brain and what she does, and maybe she'll reveal some more in the future. We hope that you enjoyed this episode that kind of became extremely chaotic. And we will see you in the next one. Check us out on Spotify and YouTube for a Narrative Notions podcast. We do also have a book talk, which I will add to the description. I'll make a note of that. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
goodbye.